Terminator spinnerbait, 3/8 ounce chartreuse through the buzzbait. They're not hitting the buzzbait at all in the morning, just hitting the Terminator so far. Throw it right up in the corner of a seawall into the real calm, like real, I don't know what you might want to call it, not stagnant, but it looks like that. Scum all over the surface, you know, real stagnant looking water, shallow, hit it right away. So there you go. Well, it's been pretty interesting so far. It's 9:30. I got here at 6. Went around to all the major coves and points. Every place that you traditionally have caught good bass in here before. Down here in Sussex County, this is Steve Von Brandt for the Bass College. Post spawn, threw the Terminator spinnerbait around. Now what I'm going to do is go back. I'm going to take the 1/2 ounce dirty jig in black and blue. The water's super muddy. I've got a Grande Bass Mega Claws trailer on the back of it. And I'm going to go around, throw that on the St. Croix Legend Elite 7-foot heavy action. I'm using the Shimano Sitica on this one. 65-pound test, Suffolk 832 braid. And I'm going to go around, I'm going to flip all the docks and all the major laydowns all around in the same areas where I just went through with the spinnerbait, and see how that produces. Then I'm going to come back around again, go back into all the major spawning coves. I'm going to flip the jig and some other soft plastics into the pads, into the openings and on the edge of the pads, and see if they're actually in the pads. They weren't hitting in there on the spinnerbait, a buzzbait, a rage tail. They just weren't hitting that. I threw a spro frog, threw a couple other frogs. They weren't hitting there on those type of baits. So I'm going to go back through and see if they're in the pads in any good numbers, but if they're just not hitting on that, they're maybe going to hit on the jig or another soft plastic like that, like the Mega Claws or a beaver or something, peg. So we're going to see what that does, and I'll see you guys in a minute. Nice one. Really, oh boy, really lively. Terminator 3/8 ounce. You can see that's a decent bass. Not giant, but a decent bass. Came right out of the seawall again at the corner of Chunk Rock. Right at the corner of Chunk Rock. Threw it right up in the water that was just a couple inches deep. Okay, we'll see if we've got a pattern now. We'll go around and keep doing this on all the seawalls and the Chunk Rock and the corners, right where the shade and the sun come together. That's where they are. They're laying on a shade line in those areas. Nice bass. Yes, down in the grass. Caught him 2 feet away from the boat. Holding in this shade line again, right by the corner of a dock. Right at the corner of the dock. Terminator 3/8 ounce. Solid chartreuse tandem. Nice bass. Holding in the grass about a foot deep, right on the edge of the docks in the shade line off the main lake point. Decent bass. Haha. Alright. Rarely do I get bass this small. Well, here we come up on one of the best jig areas in the lake right now. This whole shore that's up here in front of us, from this pipe right up to those docks, is where I've caught the most bass recently, and the biggest bass all the time, except for that 8.7 pounder you saw me catch in the spring. These are the seawall, the pipes, the docks. This is a hot area. It holds a lot of bass and a lot of big bass at the right times. So we're going to flip the jig up in here and we'll see what happens. work these areas real thoroughly. You got to hit every little post on the seawall. You know, really watch your line. Every 6-8 inches, you know. Really nice, quiet presentation. Flip it in, watch your line. It's a very slight little tick sometimes. All that splashing you hear is giant 20 and 30 pound carp all over the shore, just tearing the shorelines up. You don't need to work it real long. You need to just pitch it in, let it sink, watch your line, lift it, give it a little shake, give it a couple hops out, move it out about 10-15 feet. If they don't hit it, you can just bring it back in, pitch it right back in again. But you don't have to spend a lot of time slowly dragging it on the bottom at this point. 90% of the time it's a reaction bite. They hit it as it's falling or on the first lift and fall, and, you know, after you've thrown it in. It's not a real slow presentation. A lot of people don't understand. You can cover a lot of water with a jig. You can cover a lot of water with a jig just like you do with a spinnerbait. There we go. On the dirty jig, Grandy Bass, Mega Claws trailer. Not a giant, but a good healthy bass. Nice one. You can go around like I showed you just a few minutes ago. Just flip those docks, flip the brush, the edge of the pads. After you've worked everything with the spinnerbait and a crankbait, go around it with the jig. After we've worked it with the jig for a little while, we're going to go back around. We're going to work the same areas on the drop-offs and slow roll a bigger spinnerbait down deep into the brush piles and on the ledges and see what we pick up there. We'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, there you go, 7.5 pounds. Terminator spinnerbait, back in a foot of water, back in this other creek. I ran up to this other creek. I said, man, I gotta get up into something else, get into some different water. And threw this Terminator spinnerbait in. I just weighed him, weighs 7.8 pounds. Nice bass. Check that baby out. Look at that. I'm 7 feet away from you up in the front of the boat. All right, let's get him back in. I'll get out here in the sunlight a little bit so make sure we got a good picture of this. There we go. Check that out. £7 pounds. Terminator spinnerbait. Yes. Terminator 7.8. 3/8 ounce. Look at that baby. Look at the mouth on this sumbitch. Look at the mouth on this boy. Oh yes. All right, let's let this one go and go get another one, huh? What's really amazing is no matter how many years you've fished for bass, no matter how many giant fish you've caught, every single time it's exciting, isn't it? I get excited every single time I catch one like that. For you guys that are tournament anglers, stop on into the basscollege.com. Just register at www.thebasscollege.com. We have a full pro staff. We don't just fish small lakes or ponds in Delaware or Maryland. We fish the Upper Bay, all the Upper Bay rivers, the Potomac, all over the Delmarva region, up to New Jersey, New York. We've been fishing for 45 years, so we've got a lot of experience here in the Northeast. I've fished all the way out into California and Missouri and down south. So stop on in, see what we have to offer you. You get free baits with every order. We're affiliated with Tackle Warehouse and Faculty of Fishing, fishingsponsors.com. We can help you get sponsors. So stop on into the Bass College. Just click on the www.thebasscollege.com. Register, stop in the forums, make a post. Somebody will help you right away. All right, it's time to get out of here now. I want to thank everybody for purchasing all their baits through the Bass College. We appreciate it. Remember, we give free baits with every order. Stop on in. We have tournament help for the Upper Bay and Potomac. We have over 45 years experience there, so stop on in, register in the forums, check out the free baits offers, say hi. Until next time, this is Steve Von Brandt, and I'll see you down on the water.